Hello everyone, my name is Vector Maximus, and I'd like to welcome you to Victoria 2, The Heart of Darkness. Specifically, I have all the DLC enabled, it's just Heart of Darkness was the last one that they ever released, hence why it's called The Heart of Darkness. Anyway, here we have some lovely people in, it appears to be a rainforest, I would assume, what with the monkeys and stuff like that. These people are probably going to get eaten by cannibals. Because that's what happens to expeditions in Victoria 2. Very rarely do they come back alive. So, this is a grand strategy game from Paradox. They're the same people that made EU4. They're the people that made Crusader Kings 2 and Hearts of Iron, if you know those games. So yeah, anyway, this is just going to be a fun little series that I've been interested in making. It's going to be a run. We're going to play as, well, anyone who knows me should not be at all surprised who I'm picking, given the time frame, 1836. Of course, Königsreich Prussia. For those of you who don't know any German, and I do not know much German either, I just know that. That is the Kingdom of Prussia. So, the basic goal is going to be, and there's so much good period-accurate pictures and newspaper clippings in this game. I mean, artistically, I really like the style. But, essentially, the goal for this series, I suppose, is, let's get political map mode going. Let's see, we have Österreich, we have Russian Empire, we have Frankreich, we have our fellow Germanic friends to the north, the Nords. The goal of this series will be wrong thing. This one. There it is. We are going to be doing 3 hurrahs for the German Empire. And basically the goal of this is to form first the North German Confederation, and then finally to form the German Empire, and from there to become the #1 rated great power of the world. Starting out, we are the 3rd greatest power in the world. We are beneath France, Russia, and the British Empire. And you do not mess with the British Empire in this, they are scary. We are followed after by our fellow Germanic cousins, the Austrians, followed by the Ottoman Turks, Spain will not stick around long, I can guarantee that. They practically always fall out of great power status. And finally, the US of awesome. Because there are Prussians over there and they are awesome. So, essentially, unlike waging war in like EU4 or Hearts of Iron, Victoria 2 is much more about weighing international diplomacy, building up infrastructure, managing, trying to make sure that you don't lose power in your country, basically, instead of, directly waging war. War is very indirect is very defensive, I suppose I should say, in Victoria 2. Largely based around digging in a choke point and basically holding the line grimly until you exhaust the enemy. And I'm using France as an example because to form the German Empire, you have to take Alsace-Lothringen, or Alsace-Lorraine for the French. And yeah, basically the general strategy is form the North German Confederation first, before we focus on the German Empire. So, this map mode I'm in right now shows spheres of influence. These countries are under the dominion and influence of other countries. So as you can see, most of the North German states are under our sphere of influence. And the only one that isn't is Hanover, which is, at this point in time, it is under personal union with the Crown of Great Britain through the House of Hanover. This is automatically cancelled when Queen Victoria ascends to the throne because due to Hanseatic law, I believe, in Hanover, it cannot be ruled by a female. So we're just going to leave Hanover. We just need to wait and then they'll be out and about. Otherwise, to form the North German Confederation, we need We need Schleswig-Holstein. So here's Holstein itself. But then we also need to take these provinces from Denmark. Because as you can see, 72% North German and 27% North German. Now then, you see the North German Empire has cores on these areas. But the thing is that you would think that that would give us a casus belli, a reason to attack, but you can't actually use the unify or nationalist casus belli until you get nationalism and imperialism, which you can't get until 1850, and screw that, I'm not waiting that long. So, now, where had I been going with this? Oh yes, forming North German Confederation first. Or North German Federation. So, yes, we need Schleswig-Holstein from Denmark, and we need to get out from Austria's sphere of influence, the Kingdom of Saxony, and then, as an optional thing, we need to... Wait a minute. Netherlands... Oh yes, Luxembourg is in personal union under Netherlands, I forgot at this point in time. Yeah, to compensate for the loss of Belgium, I believe, in the Napoleonic in the Congress of Vienna, I believe, Netherlands was placed in a personal union over Luxembourg. I can't quite remember. But yeah, the Netherlands still has cores all over, so I would not be surprised if Netherlands declares war to try to reclaim Belgium soon, but Belgium is almost always backed up by the UK, and so Netherlands typically loses. So, we start out, as I previously said, the fourth rated great power. We have the most military tech. We start out with 6 instead of 5, because we have army professionalism, because Prussian discipline! Just cannot contain. We're going to start researching railroads, because that really helps. Once it's hooked up, your economy runs better, you can move armies faster, you can have more troops in a state. And overall, there's just no negatives, really, for having that. However, we need to balance our budget. We are currently running a major deficit of 310 pounds a month. And if you want to know who the dominant power of the day is, just look at what the common currency is. So, this should prove beyond all doubt the status of the British Empire. So, the way this is going to work is that the rich invest in your factories, and they help build up your infrastructure. So you want to tax them none at the beginning of the game. And the middle class, you want to tax them about middle, and the poor, you just want to suck the life out of them, because they're your biggest group, so they bring in the most money. It sounds very harsh and very douchey, but that's the unfortunate truth of it. Now then, we are still running major deficits, so tariffs aren't really going to bring in anything at the moment. And it will just make construction harder. So right now, the major spending of Prussia is in military. So we have to turn down the army until we get positive cash flows again. Let's see if we can actually get it going. Yep, cash is positive. Once we start getting factories built and our economy is booming, we will then raise our military spending back up. Now then, the important thing, anytime you're starting in a 1836 start, always go through, combine your armies into big enough stacks, and then set them to hunt rebels, because if you are like me, you like to play as an absolute monarchy because you don't have to deal with pop-ups or that whole democracy crap. It sucks! It sucks when you're the ruler, anyway. So, in this case, I am... Crap, I can't even remember what king it is. It's not Wilhelm the First, is it? No, Wilhelm the First rules for like 10, just like a little short blink of time later. So... Yep, there we go. So, basically, the way you play these diplomatic games is that you set priority to increase your diplomatic influence. And other countries can spend influence to discredit you. We are currently discredited in Saxony, which is what I wanted them to do, is because that forced them to spend 25 of their influence. So basically what we need to do is get this relationship up to friendly. So I need to bump it up twice, and each of those costs 50 influence. And then I need to get 100 more influence in order to remove them from Austria, and then another 100 to add them to my sphere of influence. So it's a pretty complicated process, and it takes some time. So 5th of July is when we can go again. However, it's now because of the fact that we are discredited in... Basically, the way this works is that you want to rotate. Every time you're discredited somewhere else, you want to start building up influence somewhere else. Once that runs out, go back to your first priority. If you get discredited again, go back to the other thing or find a third thing, and you just rinse and repeat until you're done. So that's how the diplomatic game works. So right now, see, France has already discredited us in Luxembourg, so that is good. And now, just as a general rule, I like to have Sweden in Germany's sphere of influence. On occasion, I've even been able to get back Finland for them. So, since nobody is probably going to be contesting me up there, I'm going to start building up influence. Now then, before... I'm going to want to also begin to... Where is Holstein? Name by name. Holstein. There it is. I'm also going to want to get Holstein in my sphere, because they're allied with Denmark, and I can't form the North... Oh, Britain. I will gladly take an alliance with Britain. Yeah, Germany has a pretty good chance of allying Britain, because they don't feel very threatened by them on their island. However, France, Austria, and Russia don't tend to like Germany, which sucks. If Scandinavia forms, they tend to be fairly friendly towards Germany. The only problem area is in Schleswig-Holstein, because both Scandinavia and the German Empire have cores. And this is the bad thing. If you're starting in 1836, you'll get liberal agitation periodically in various places around your country. This will basically increase the chances of revolutionary uprisings and basically altogether just pricks, which is an unfortunate fact. So yeah, we're going to be dealing with those pop-ups for like another 20-ish years, probably 15, 20 years, if we're really unlucky. It is possible to defeat it before that. However, you will get Jacobins rising up left, right, and center in Jacobins, which I believe is French for king killer or something like that. They will rise up and try to enforce a democracy on you. We're going to say no. We're going to have our glorious monarchical empire, and we're going to accept all these alliances from these German miners so that they can swarm our enemies. Now then, once we have Schleswig-Holstein in our sphere of influence, we're going to fabricate on Denmark for Schleswig. And let's see. Better to contain the growth of liberalism in a single province than the entire country, as a general statement. Let's see. Sweden is a secondary power. We're at 31 influence. Russia is trying to build up influence. Sweden in a Russian sphere, I would not enjoy that. So, we can build factories in our states if we have the correct political party in power. We are currently the Conservative Party, which basically just wants to maintain things as they are. That's fine for now. We can subsidize factories, we can upgrade factories, we can do that stuff to get all of that. If we want to actually physically build factories, we would have to switch to the reactionary party, the National Partei. But for now, the Conservative Party is fine. And here are the social and political forms you can go through. Basically, trinket, minimum wage, max work hours, safety regulations, stuff like that. Social reforms. I'm all for passing the social reforms. I'm not so keen on passing the political reforms, particularly this one. Just I like never use this one, or at least I try not to. If I do, I typically only get up to weighted wealth. Press rights, yeah, that's fine. Trade unions, fine. Political parties, whatever. But not this. Pop-up hell, I do not like. So, now the question is, while we are waiting for our influence to be good, to go back into Saxony, speaking of which, has Austria begun? Austria has not been building up. That is good. That is very, very good. I will cancel in Sweden because I don't need them super desperately right now. It's more important to get the components for North German Confederation, i.e. Saxony and Luxembourg at the moment. Okay, we can add... let's sort by influence. So increase opinion with Holstein. They are now cordial. After cordial becomes friendly, and from friendly we can jump to always want to have my military spending as high as possible in case the Jacobins actually rise up. Militancy among your people can help lead to being able to pass social reforms, so it is useful at times. Now then, which one is it? It was down here. Population, no. Nationality, here we go. This shows basically the ethnic dispersion of peoples throughout the world. So, we have Greeks, we have Serbs, we have Albanians, we got Bulgarians, we have Romanians, we got Hungarians, Slovakians, Czechs. And finally we have North Germans and we have South Germans, we have Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian, and finally the one that could cause the biggest problems for later on, Polish. Now then, this is a bit of a problem because Poland, despite not having majority populations in a decent portion of Prussia, holds cores on them, and they also have cores over basically all of Silesia, which that's a pretty big section of Prussia right there. It would not be good for us to lose that. Now then, slowly over time, populations will nationalize. Basically, they'll become overridden by the majority population. So in this case, North Germans will slowly push out Polish people in these lands, and they will move into Polish majority lands. So in this case, the Polish parts of the German Empire. Not the German Empire, the Russian Empire. Like, so much Russian. And as we can see here, Alsace-Lothringen is populated by, or rather this is Lothringen, this is Alsace. Lothringen, Alsace. Those are populated by South Germans, so that's why the German Empire has cores there. Interesting fact, this province right here is where my German ancestors came from. So we were from the 37% North German, or whatever percentage this would be if we started in 1893. And the other ones were from these three provinces in Sweden. So, now we just need to wait, basically. This is the unfortunate problem, is that... Now then, see, that's what we want. Just have the influence just shoot up. Austria isn't trying to build up influence in any of my states. That's good. That's something that that you might have to worry about, is basically you'll be fighting an influence war with Austria for southern Germany and just German hegemony, period, which is very much true of the historic argument of what will be Germany. In our case, we are going for a lesser Germany, which that might sound bad, but it's meant to say, like, lesser Germany is a Germany that's under Protestant and Prussian hegemony, whereas an Austrian Greater Germany would be not just Germans, but it would be Hungarians, it would be Slovakians, it would be Italians, it would be Romanians. Basically, it would not be an ethnically German state. And that's one of the reasons why, particularly the later you get, the less that the people support that. Oh, Saxony, Saxony, time to love me. They are friendly to us. Now we just gotta wait to get 100. This might actually be very, very fast. Time to start increasing back in Luxembourg, because we want them to be in our sphere when we do form the North German Confederation, because Luxembourg has roughly half and half French, a bit more French than German. But if they're in your sphere when you form the North German it's just the North German Federation, Vector. Please think straight. If they are in your sphere when you form the North German Federation, they will become annexed. I can't remember if they'll do that if you do 3 hurrahs for Germany and they're in your sphere. I can't remember if they'll join that or not. I just know for a fact they'll do it for the North German Federation. Let's see, we are at 75. Liberal agitation removed. Always a good thing to hear when liberal agitation is moved from your states. Let's see, railroads are already being built in Berlin. We got them building in Prussia. Build them in Silesia. Or I'm out of money. Crap. People, give me money! Send me your money so I can build railroads for the German people. So, with that in mind, we can increase Luxembourg's. Saxony can be removed from sphere. We will increase Luxembourg. Let's get their priorities. Let's get Saxony up as fast as we can. Okay, they just credited us. That's good. Lose 4 prestige, whatever. Prestige we can recover. Oh, but we will need to build more troops. Build North German infantries. 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3 artillery and a cav. I'm just worried France is going to try to hurt us. Let's increase our relations so that they don't hate us. Now then, Austria. Austria is actually quite happy with us. So there's not really any need. Because while you are fighting politically for German hegemony, you aren't actually fighting over any actual turf. You don't need any of Austria's land to form the German Empire. Kalowitz, where was Kalowitz? This is one of the minor problems of playing this, is that it's so hard to tell the provinces at times. Is this it? Is this the one that has liberal agitation? No. Interesting little fact is that due to control of the province a long time ago, yes, it was like controlled minorly by Prussia, Like, I forget why, but it was basically autonomous. It was like not even part. But we have a core on Switzerland. We cannot actually attack Switzerland because that is part of their capital state, and you cannot declare a war to annex a capital state unless it is the only thing they have left. Unfortunate. Oh crap. I'm at negative money. It's because of those troops I built. And I am poor. I am in debt. Gain populism. But the real question is anyone building factories? Why are you not building factories? We need industry. Let's see, by Prussian influence, Luxembourg, add to sphere. There we go. Now then, where is Saxony? We are banned until the 27th of December, so we'll just wait in here. Bloody revolutionaries! Liberal agitation removed. Excellent. The Liberals gained some in the upper house, the Conservatives and the Reactionaries lost. So, Saxony. Yep, discredited. That's exactly what we want Austria to do. Get them to waste their points. Don't let them get Saxony back in their sphere of influence. So, I think that's a good start for this. We managed to get Saxony out of Austria's sphere. We're building that up. We got Luxembourg into our sphere of influence. We are currently getting Holstein in. Then we will declare war on Denmark for Schleswig. And once we get that in our thing, Saxony into our sphere of influence, we'll just need to wait on the ascension of Queen Victoria, which I believe is 1840. And then we will be able to get Hanover into our sphere, and then we will be able to go, haha, we are the North German Federation. I hope you all have enjoyed. Take care.